Hello guys, I'll wait for a few persons to join, and then I will start the roundtable discussion, and then after that I'll go into dealing with any questions, and I'll also look over any issues to do with uh, challenges you guys are experiencing, etc. So I also will touch on leveraging today, and yeah, I'll also point out on how you guys can deal with what's happening with Easter, what happens in the Easter holidays, regardless of the country that you're in. Generally, what happens is there's more sugar available. So even if it's outside Jamaican culture, you'll have Easter eggs, etc. All those types of stuff to deal with. So I will go through on how we deal with those, etc. So let's start out with the round table. Let's just go into the first one. Sorry, just a second. I'm in a meeting. I'm in a meeting. I'm in a meeting. All right. So yeah, we have 4. Okay. All right, guys. So just signal who's here. Raise your hand so I can see who's here, and then I'll go in that order of who I see to start doing the checkpoint. All right. So who's here today so far? Raise your hand if you're here. Okay, Angela. Hi, Angela. I'll just go with you first then. Okay. Hi, Jay. So, Angela, how's it going for you so far? How has been this last block for you? Hi, Kimani. How's it going for you? That's Angela. How's it been? Hi, Charlene. Pretty good? Okay, great. Good stuff. That's what we want to hear. Pretty good. That means we're on a roll. All right, so let's have a look at what's been happening for you, and then I will be able to advise and ask you questions based upon what I'm seeing. All right. Okay, Angela. So looking here, I'm seeing we're still trending downwards in weight, which would mean from where we started, we are almost 20 pounds down. So we're, 19 point something pounds down. So weight loss slowed down for sure. That's fine. The body does that. The body will slow down weight loss because we talk about stimuli and adaptation. So we use a stimuli and the body will adapt to it before it tries to balance out. So every time we keep throwing different stimuli at the body, it will be good initially or very effective initially, or could be, sometimes it's not, and then it will then taper off, right? So I can see where it's slowing down because you're regularly putting numbers in. It's, you've come down 4 pounds in the last probably, say, the last 10 days, 4 pounds. That's generally, some people don't lose 4 pounds in 1 month, right? So, yeah, your weight loss has been incredible, which is good. You're coming from, I won't say people's numbers on here for privacy, but 19 pounds is pretty good. All right, so first of all, congratulations on that, Angela. I know it's not easy to adhere to these protocols, and it will also put you in a position where, I mean, it's life-changing. It's behavioral modification we're dealing with. So it's not easy. So based upon that, I can see where, yeah, in your face you've lost, I mean, around your stomach as well. Things are definitely changing in your body in 20 days. So again, congratulations, Angela. And when the going gets tough, as it will, and this goes for everybody on here, it's gonna get hard. There's gonna be days where you don't feel like doing this anymore, and that's when you really need to show up. On the days when you don't feel like, in these type of things, feelings are not really that important. It is really to do with discipline, and discipline requires consistency, and consistency is showing up when you don't feel like. And those days are going to come. The more weight you lose, you're going to get people who are going to also tell you you're looking great, and psychologically you will accept those compliments. And sometimes some people use those compliments as guidance to that they should probably stop doing what they're doing because they are being told that they look great, because someone would have seen them before, and I've seen them recently, and would have then passed you those compliments. What you got to stick to is your goals. And in life, I think in order for you to remain healthy till the day you die, is to keep changing your goals to achieve something. So when you achieve, whether it's to lose 50 pounds, when you achieve that goal, you need to find something else to do. Whether it's you're going to climb a mountain, or whether it's you're going to do a triathlon or something like that, that requires you to prepare. You keep preparing for something that involves nutritional protocols and requires you to keep moving, right? So that's the journey that you're on. If you want to benefit from lifespan, which is living longer, and health span, the data is there in the open for us to keep moving and to also keep paying attention to what we consume as food. So for you, Angela, I mean, this is pretty good. I'm going to move you across to the green group now. And when I move over to talking about leveraging, I guess you will pick up some pointers on this as well for future, because we're now 20 days in. We only have 20 days left to go. We have to start looking in the direction of when we come off this challenge, right? We've got to start looking in that direction as well. So well done again, Angela. Almost 20 pounds down. That's fantastic. And we're going to continue this magnificent improvement by you moving to the green group, which is going to put you in a deeper caloric deficit, and also it will allow some other possibilities to happen with fat loss, being in a caloric deficit, and you to become a bit used to having less food. All right, so Angela, that's where you're moving to, which is the green group, which is OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. My recommendations for OMAD, guys, first and foremost, there's many different ways to lose fat and to lose weight, right? I'm into fat loss because that's what the science says is the best way to go about it. However, I'm not only guided by fat loss. The other version is weight loss. Fat loss is losing solely fat tissue or reduction of those cells. Weight loss would be the scale moving drastically, which would potentially also sometimes mean you're losing muscle. I spoke today on my social media about people using different diets to get results, and I think all diets are great. However, the thing is, with this process that we use, we generally stick to the protein protocols, and that allows us to retain muscle tissue, so you don't look skinny, or some people might say you then don't look sick, right? So when you retain muscle tissue in your face and in all parts of your body, The weight loss is then you look lean. You don't end up looking skinny. Hi guys, I'm seeing you guys coming in. I'm just gonna finish up what I'm saying and move on to the next person. But there are different processes that I've used with different people over the years that has allowed them to break through plateaus. So there's a British entertainer called Bruce Forsyth, who he used the Hay diet. The Hay diet is by Dr. Hay, that came out years ago, where they believe that you shouldn't mix your carbohydrates and your proteins. You should have them in different sittings. Angela, is OMAD inclusive of carbs? So is it so that meal to be had after working out? Yes, yes it is, Angela. So OMAD you can have, OMAD it is recommended that you eat after training. However, if your training is late, you can OMAD earlier. You don't have to eat after training. It's just that the body deals with nutrients differently after training, especially when you do resistance training. It goes towards muscle building and muscle repair, because you just broke down those tissues, so the body like siphons a lot of it across. So rather than the energy going into storage, which is what we don't want, it generally moves across into the repair and the recovery process. So that's why I do promote post-workout eating, because it has a different impact on the body to when you do not move. So moving, and your most intense moving, should follow with your highest nutritional intake. Yes, okay, great. All right, Angela, so there you go. So as I said, guys, there's different protocols we can use. I've had people on fruitarian diets, I've had people on high carb diets, but the outcomes are different. I had a lady once who was a vegetarian, and I was getting her ready to do a marathon, and I'd put her on a fruitarian diet because of the limitations that she had in what she wanted to eat. And she got some very good results in her marathon training. However, when I measured, at the time I was measuring her data via DEXA scan, and this was in Europe actually, and what we found with her, as a fruitarian, she lost a lot of muscle tissue and a lot of fat. So she lost a lot of weight, so it contributed well to her running faster times. However, 2 years down the road, when she wanted to run even faster, we had to revisit building muscle, because there's only so much you're going to get out of weight loss for running, but then you're going to optimize again by building muscle to improve the performance later down the road when you receive the benefits of the initial weight loss. All right, so moving on to the next person, Jay. So I have Jay here. Okay, Jay, let's have a look at what's happening with you. All right, I recall having moved you over to the green group, and you seem pretty active here. So Jay, you have lost now a total of, let's say 11 pounds. Since our last check-in, you'd have gone another 2 pounds. Let's have a look at what's happening here. How has it been going for you, Jay? How is your adherence? Getting years of weight loss has slowed down. Okay, Jay, so we're seeing you don't have to answer these questions here if you don't want to, Jay, but I got a few questions here for you. Are you premenopausal? Are you menopausal? Whichever. That's important for me to know now. And if you are you taking any other supplementations for that, including any hormonal interventions? I just need to know that before I make the next suggestion. Because those of you who don't know Jay, I'm seeing Jay is pretty active, right? This is a common thing I would deal with athletes. Hi, Carla. And before I make the next suggestion, I would want to know if you are experiencing any symptoms or having any treatment for such. As I said, you don't have to go into great detail. You just need to indicate to me so I can take my suggestion into consideration. Okay. All right. Okay, Jay. So what this does to us now, this puts us in a very unique position. All right. I'm going to put you on a protocol. Oops, see. Let's just fix that. Put you on a different protocol here. And this one is just for you. This is a form of leveraging that we're going to use. And I'm going to update this where we're going to move you into a group. I mean, we have the blue group, which is technically next where you're going to, where I'm going to give you a macro guide. However, for what I'm going to do here is put you in a carbohydrate depletion. All right, unless we have two options here. So we're gonna go low carb with you, right? And this low carb option is going to put you in a carbohydrate depletion, and we're going to ram up protein. And we're also going to introduce some fasting protocols. Stephen, is Stephen here? Stephen in this live. So let me see anyone on the team in the live. Okay, anyway, all right, let's just go ahead. All right, so for what we're going to do based upon your weight, Jay, you're going to have, every day you're going to go aim for 130 grams of protein. Okay? That's the first thing in the protocol for you. 130 grams of protein. 130 grams of protein. Write that down. Based upon your current weight, we're going for 130 grams of protein. All right, that's going to be 520 calories. Okay. Your proteins can come preferably from animal sources. So that's meats, fish, chicken. And we're going to be very low in carbohydrates. We're going for no more than 30 grams of carbs for the day. So that means your fruits, your legumes, they naturally are going to come out for now. And you're going to, your fats, I'm just doing a calculation here for you. This is actually that's 120 calories worth of fats, right? And then last not least, 120 calories of carbohydrates, my bad, which is 30 grams of carbs, right? And then what we're gonna have left over there for the fats, right? Which is 55 grams of fats, right? Which equals to 500 calories. 55 grams of fats. Your fat should be from, you can count your animal source fats in there. So if you have, for example, if you have a ribeye, if you have a steak, right? And you have a piece of ribeye has a bit more fat on there. You would count the protein and fat. So an average ribeye would probably give you everything you needed for the day. Right? And then if you're going to eat again, you would have a piece of, say, mahi fish or a piece of snapper fish. You would have more straight protein because these are now lean proteins. So I'm restricting you to having If you have a steak, it's going to give you a fair amount of fat. So that means you are going to then be left to having lean proteins for the rest of the day. Right? So an actual ribeye, 16-ounce ribeye is around about 100 grams of fat. The protein is about 109 grams of protein. So you'd have been on the protein and you would have gone over your fat. So if you did go over your fat, literally what would happen then is you would not consume any carbohydrates. Right? So if you had a ribeye, for example, and you wanted to eat again, you would then have straight lean fish, very lean fish. Salmon is not lean fish. Salmon comes with a fair amount of fat. So you would have a lean fish like mahi fish, or you would have snapper. All right. I think they're selling a lot of tilapia now. I personally don't like tilapia, but hey. So that's it for you, Jay. Right? That's your protocol. Right? 100. I'll just drop it in the group. So for Stephen, who is one of the team leads here, 30 grams carbs, 130 grams protein, and I'll actually bring the fats. I'll change it slightly. I'll bring the fats to 60 grams. I'll round it up slightly because you're gonna get fats naturally from if you have meat. I like if you have red meat, especially on the days when you lift weights. On the days that you don't lift weights, you can have other meat options. All right, so that's sent in the group. All right, and this one is for Jay. All right, great. Next person on the list. So Jay, your protocol is practically blue group, which is a carbohydrate depletion, but I've given you specific macros for just you. That doesn't apply to anybody else. Kimani, how's it going, Kimani? Kimani, you there? Kimani, socially it's been hard. Relapse once and I realized for Omad I have been overeating that one meal, but I understand it now. Yeah. Guys, the secular world, the normal world that we live in now, unfortunately, do not consume a lot of real food anymore and eat solely because of taste. If you want to look after your health, you can't eat solely for taste. You've got to eat specifically to get the outcomes that you want. So socially, any form of, so me personally, when I'm eating strictly, when I go out with friends or anything like that, I just have sparkling water, and they know that's just the deal with me. If I'm, out with people, that's just, unfortunately I personally don't drink alcohol, and most of the stuff that it's not that I'm gonna be rude to people. I might have some stuff if I am at a party. I've been to a party once before and I had a friend there it was their house, and I just ate the protein. It was Jamaican protein. They had oxtail and they had curry goat and they had jerk pork, and I just had a piece of each. It's protein. If you're gonna get away with anything, you're gonna get away with protein. All right. But for the protein to have its benefits, you must be active. All right. So let me just look at your profile there, Kimani. Sorry, Kimani, I'm just trying to pull your document, pull your file here. Kimani Anderson. Sorry, I had two Kimanis come up. Okay, great. I'm seeing it here now. All right, Kimani. So, what I'm seeing here with you is, yeah, we've gone down now a total of about 12 pounds, 13 pounds since start of challenge. So congratulations, well done. I have to say well done to you as well, Jay. I forgot to say that. It's not that you didn't do well. Everybody, weight loss isn't solely down to who loses the most weight. You know, it's down to what's happening in your body. Okay, Jay. So I'm, sorry, Kimani, rather. Kimani, are you doing resistance training? Are you doing resistance training? Because from what I'm seeing here now, one of your biggest challenges is going to be now visceral fat. A lot of your fat is not adipose. Adipose tissue, sorry, what am I talking about? Correction, adipose tissue is fat. Visceral fat is generally around the organs, around the stomach region, all right? And then we have the subcutaneous fat, which is at the surface, which is generally what we measure. So I'm seeing high risk here as you're losing weight now, that a lot of your weight is being pulled around your organs. This is something we call TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. So you're moving in that direction, which is I'm going to help you to make sure you don't end up there. So yes, the first thing is to start doing resistance training. Also, I'm going to recommend you start sprinting. All right, Mr. Anderson, you're going to start sprinting. And you're only going to warm up and sprint, say 10 sprints for 30 seconds each. That's the type of cardio I wanted you to start doing 2 days per week. This is going to have a different demand on your body. Yeah, for you, I don't recommend any jogging or any aerobic workouts. You need to be doing resistance training as you just started, and in conjunction sprinting now. This will help you to drop body fat. I mean, normal cardio will help you to drop body fat, but hormonally what we want to happen is for you to raise your anabolic hormones. All right, so next thing, so that's where you're going to be, Kimani, and you're going to move to the green group as well. All right, so you're moving to the green group. Kimani, moving to the green group, and you're adding resistance training, which you have already, and drop 2 days of sprinting on there. 10 sets of 30-second sprints is good enough. Make sure you warm up before, and that should give you a wealth of change in the next 20 days. So well done, Kimani. All right, that was very good, and that's where you're off to. You're off the green. Nicholas Campbell, which is, sorry, Charlene. Let me bring up Charlene. Charlene. Charlene, let's have a look. All right, Charlene, how has it been going for you as well? How are you feeling? How you have been doing on this challenge, Charlene? Charlene, I've seen you're down. As I said, I won't give away people's specific data points. I'll just go over the top of the data. I see you've gone down about 7 pounds since start of challenge. Have you been adhering to the instructions and the guidance, Charlene? Yeah, Charlene. So Charlene, for you is pretty straightforward for me here based upon what's happening. Let me just have a look at your height. We need to move you to you can definitely move to OMAD now. Alright, I'm seeing your sleep data here from your watch. Your sleep isn't so great. I'm gonna be keeping guys, when you connect your devices, I get a lot of information which allows me to make decisions. Alright, move to OMAD. Alright, move to OMAD. But I'm gonna keep monitoring your sleep as well. Once you have this data here, I can tell a lot more information. Sleep has a lot to do with fat loss. Alright, so, okay, let's try not have any slip for the next 10 days. For the next 10 days, you should be eating 10 meals. Very simple. Right? Top tip, guys, for those of you going to green, the reason why I promote red meat so much is because it's satiating. It sits in the stomach for longer, and your body takes time to break it down. If you don't eat red meat and you're going to use fish and chickens, fish goes through the body very quickly. So you're going to want to eat again when you're on OMAD. What I suggest that you use then is use some butter. Use real butter, please. Alright? For those of you in the supermarket, that's not Anchor. Use the LEV butter. Not margarine. Do not use margarine. Use animal butter. Right? So or you can use ghee or tallow. For those of you in the US, that's easier to get hold of. Tallow or ghee or duck fat. And all you're going to use is just use this fat. Or you can use a tablespoon of coconut oil. But to be honest, that coconut oil is plant-based. It's not really as effective as the animal fat. Let's stick to the ghee, tallow, or butter. Or duck fat. And all you're going to do is you're going to use that if you don't have steak to help you to get the fats that you need to get in, and it will help you with your hunger, help you to manage hunger a lot easier. So ghee, tallow, or butter. Let me see if I can find the LEV butter. I think that's the cleanest butter the Elevier. It's Elevier actually. It's a French butter. I think that's the cleanest one that I find anywhere. Alright, guys, you got to be careful of most of these brands and what they're giving you. That is why I don't associate myself with brands. Alright? Because a brand might have the reputation of being healthy. It don't mean that every product that they come out with is necessarily sourced right. Okay, I'm seeing here, hold on, Nadine, I'm gonna come to you shortly. Let me just make sure I don't go over somebody who has been waiting, who was in line. Let me just go to alright, let me just move on quickly. See, Julian was here. Let me go to Julian and I'll come next year. So that's it for you. You wrap up there. I'm just getting a bit confused here. 1 second. Because the person's name is not their profile. Who was I just speaking to now? Let me just go back to this last profile. Sorry about this, guys. Just want to make sure the information is correct for the right person. Alright, that's it. Sorry. Yeah, Shailene. Shailene. Yeah, Charlene Hall. Charlene Hall, right? Charlene Hall Campbell. You will move to the green group and you will Jay, your fasting protocol is generally is OMAD really. You can leverage into 4 hours. So you can, if you didn't get enough protein in, you can have another window to eat more protein. All right, or you can use a protein shake to help you. Try and keep the protein shake without the sugar in there, all that sugar inside of it, please, because you're not supposed to really be having any carbohydrates. That's so much, so you want to be careful that it doesn't carry your carbs over. So your fasting protocol is still within an OMAD protocol, but you can open the window, you can leverage it out, because chances are you may not get all the protein in one sitting, and you need to prioritize protein for this block that we're putting you in. All right, let's just run through into Julian. Let me just speed things up a bit here, guys. Okay, so Julian, let's have a look. How's it going for you, Julian, as you are adhering to the protocols? All right, well, I'm gonna just run into Julian. I'm not seeing any updated data here, Julian. I can't really help you out if you don't weigh or give me some information. Can you upload and weigh, please, Julian? I need information to help you. All right, next person. Simone. Simone is next here. All right, Simone. All right, let's see what's happening with you. Okay, Simone, you're down around about 6 pounds. Simone, have you been adhering to the protocols? Simone, have you been adhering? How is it going for you? Simone, have you been adhering to the protocols? Okay, great. All right, Simone. You're definitely ready to move over to OMAD. All right, we can see where you are. You've lost, your inflammation has come down a lot as well. There's a next thing, guys. You have a lot of anti-nutrients in plants. I know a lot of people are not going to really like what I have to say here on this, but plants carry a lot of anti-nutrients and toxicity. It basically prevents you from accessing certain nutrients. Some of you, the best way to find out how this works is essentially look out for bloating or in signs of inflammation after you've consumed certain vegetables. All right. Some people, fruits. Generally, fruits aren't toxic as much because fruits are what the plants bear for you to eat. However, what we see when you consume the leaves of certain plants and the seeds, because they carry anti-nutrients, they don't want you to eat them. Believe it or not, it's for them to reproduce and to grow other plants. So they are pretty much not able to be consumed. What I would say, be careful in those plants that you're taking in. And if you don't, kale is one of them that I say is a big no-no for most people. Like, remove kale and remove spinach. However, some of you will be fine with it. And I won't be able to then identify, unless I was consulting you one-on-one with blood data, then it's hard for me to tell, but be wary of that. Okay, all right. So what I'm gonna do then with you here, I'm just realizing that you just gave me some information here that's needed. So with premenopause, ladies, it makes things a little bit harder on you, especially if your body's not producing the estrogen that it used to. And remember, your fat cells, most of them have estrogen sites within them, and they tend to want to hold on to fat, so the midsection can kind of open up a bit when you're gaining excessive amount of weight. I would say for most females, a general protocol in nutrition and training for you to follow when you are going through menopause is to definitely, absolutely resistance train. That's one, right? Definitely 100% move towards a more higher protein diet and shy away from carbohydrates and have a lots of fats, lots of good fats and protein. Because fats comes with so much calories, you want to then yes, it is a lot harder, but it's not completely impossible. So I'm going to put you on a similar protocol to Jay. You're going to go on OMAD. However, what we're going to do with you is, and then ladies, we don't want you to, after this challenge, you will come off fasting, but you will stick to the protocols throughout the day. Yeah, don't want you to fast for more than 36 hours. But we're going to leverage some fasting later on. But let me just give you your particular numbers here. Let me just look back at your file and give you your particular macros for you. All right, so this is the amount of protein that you're going to go for. You're going to go for 150 grams of protein, right? I'm going to just write this in the group. 150 grams of protein. You're going to have 30 grams of carbs, and you will have 90 grams of fat. All right, that's the last one I just sent in there. That one goes for you. All right, it's a pretty low carb situation. You will come off of this. I will show you how to come off of it. I'm not trying to say this is what it's going to be forever, because I mean there's loads of protocols that I use for different people. So let's stick you on that one. If you're not resistance training, you need to start resistance training ASAP, right? Yeah, and that's it for you really. Let me pull up Nadine, because she was asking, and then I'll come back on this list. Let me just pull up here. I know everybody has things to do and stuff. Let me just try and get through everybody as quickly as I can. All right, so Nadine, data is pulling. I'm not seeing any data here. What's happening here, Nadine? You've not put any data on here. Hold on. Nadine, I'm not seeing. Okay, there's two. Okay, you have two files here. All right, you have two files. That's why. All right, I'm in your file now. All right, let's have a look. Okay, Nadine. Okay, well done. You've gone about 10 pounds now, so that's good. We've got rid of the inflammation and the carbs has come down. Definitely, you should be on OMAD now as well. Yeah, we can stick you on a straight OMAD. Don't have to worry about anything else for you now. I'm just looking at your data here. Let's just go on a straight OMAD for you. All right. Okay. All right, no problem. That's OMAD macros you just posted. Yeah. Okay, you're already on OMAD. Why am I seeing you still here on yellow? You need to update your file on our back end. It says you're still yellow. Let me just make a note of that. Sorry about that, Nadine. All right, you're going to stay in green. Not see any reason for moving you as yet. I think there's more value in you staying where you are. And yeah, just keep very strict with it. And let's yeah, you can go there for the next block. Definitely. I don't see there's no any reason to move you now. You are getting good results. It's not as fast as you want it. You're carrying a fair amount of muscle tissue, which is good. So that's why the weight won't move as fast for you, because you're going to hold on to muscle, which is not a bad thing. All right, Nadine. So I would say for you, just continue, right, and be as strict as possible. Okay. All right. Shan. Okay, Shani, I need to have images as well. Guys, remember, for me, I consult using various different things. I don't just use one thing. I don't just go by weight. I'm looking at a lot of details in your body when I make changes to programs. And if you're going to give me raw data such as measurements, you're going to have to send me your blood work, and you're going to have to send it every 10 days. Because one of the ways around it for me is that I can tell a lot what's going on from where you're losing fat based upon the data points that I will look at, and then make the decisions based upon that. So it's not solely, if you're retaining muscle and not losing fat, it's a different protocol to you losing muscle. If you're losing muscle, I can't then make a certain suggestion. So I have to get those images, so I won't be able to come back to these things until Monday if you haven't uploaded them already. Carla Mackenzie. Carla, let me go to Carla, and then I think I have Amari there next. All right, so guys, these things everyone's supposed to be learning from each other as well. You will pick up different things and realize different things. All right, so Carla, I'm opening your file now. All right, Carla, yesterday, okay, so you're going down pretty well. So congrats again. You are now at 23 pounds down. So congratulations, 23 pounds down means, yeah, you will be basically, yeah, you're doing pretty good. Now let me just look at that. I haven't got any new images for you, Carla. All right, again, it's going to be very difficult for me. Yeah, you're going to have trouble with sleep. With reduction in carbohydrates helps with sleep a lot, right? So what we find is when we reduce carbohydrates in the blood, we tend to have issues with sleep, and when fasting also, we tend to have issues with sleep. That's why we don't do it permanently, and that's why we have carb loads, etc. We have different ways to, it's like the side effect of the drug, so to speak. You know, when you have side effects from certain pharmaceuticals, your GP may give you another drug. In this case, these are not drugs, so they're just lifestyle changes that will happen. Use that time to still take rest. So if you're struggling with sleep, still rest, all right? And potentially look at your hydration levels as well. Make sure you have enough magnesium in your fluids. If you're just using water to hydrate, potentially you may need to use an electrolyte and a little bit more magnesium. That will help you as well. All right. That's why I particularly use LMNT personally, which is one electrolyte that I use, and that electrolyte will help with the balance of electrolytes, which I then find helps people if they're having sleep due to magnesium issues, or it could be melatonin, could be magnesium, could be just carbohydrates for now, but I would say stick to it, because you're gonna get better health outcomes with temporary loss in sleep versus weight coming down. There's no better health marker to reduce than weight coming from, yeah. So I mean, Carla, you need to update, but I'm gonna keep you on what you're on. Not gonna move you out of the yellow. You're gonna stay there. All right. And what I will say, yeah, the yellow, because if I move you into another group and you're having sleep issues now, it's going to get worse. All right. 665 milligrams of magnesium, that's a lot. Right. 500 is a good dose, but not saying you need to reduce the dose. That dose is fine. Yeah, just I would say take rests around it. If not, you would have to consult. If it gets worse, you can speak back to me again, and if anything, would need to speak to your GP. However, based upon this, I've seen this pattern a lot with people, and we generally request that you keep your hydration levels, have a good sleep hygiene routine. So make sure all lights are off in your room. You may be a bit more sensitive in that situation where lights, for example, I've had clients where the AC light or the light on the TV was interfering with their sleep and they had to put a black tape over it. Some people just become more sensitive to their environment. If they have Wi-Fi in their room, they may have to plug it out at night. Move your phone further away from you. So that's just improving your sleep hygiene. Make sure your room is fully dark, and there's no outside lights coming through the curtains. All of those kind of stuff will help you with sleep. So it could be many different things. So you'll have to address those. Let me move on to Amari. But yeah, you stay on the protocol that you're on and just keep doing what you're doing, and you should get still some good results until the next time we check in. All right, Amari, now let's have a look. Amari down 12 pounds since the start of challenge. All right, I'd moved you to green. Let's have a look. No, right, you're still in yellow here. Amari, what protocol are you on? Amari, you're in green. Amari, are you there? Yep. Yeah, Amari, you're actually losing a lot of body fat. So I wouldn't worry about the weight too much for you. Yeah, so Amari, stick on the green, but we're gonna now focus now on the proteins. So for you, I'm going to give you the macros now, right? So you're going to tighten up on these macros, and you're going to come down even lower on carbs, all right? So Amari, this is for you. You're going to go for 200 grams of protein, or actually, let me just reduce that a little bit. 190 protein. You're going to go with 20 grams of carbs, so even lower. Right, which is going to be 80 calories. 190 times 4. Let me just work out your protein. 190 times 4. Your protein is 760, and 80 we're looking at then 840. That's 840 calories there. So your fats, will keep your fats at 600. 80 divided by 9, or sorry, 800, 100 times 9. All right, 900 calories from fat. All right, so 900 calories from fat, that's 100 grams of fat. So very high fat, right? But it's not high if you're using coconut oil and stuff like that. It's going to be easy to hit 100 grams of fat, right? Remember, you can use the tallow, you can use the ghee, butter. Those are good animal fat options. Let me just put the animal fat options. Oh, I sent them in the group, Amari. So Amari, you have 190 protein, 190 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbohydrates, and 100 grams of fat. right? So most of your calories is actually coming from fat for you, but still protein is not very far off. Protein is still very high. So a good steak, or if you don't have steak and you're gonna have chicken or fish, you need to make sure you have animal fat options here, which is what I suggested to the ladies as well, which is ghee, right? Tallow, right? And we have duck fat. These are animal fat options. You would then use a tablespoon of these, for example, with your meal. If you are having, say you are having a lean fish, right? That's what you would have the fish with. If you're going to eat lean meats, like even if you're going to have a lean cut of steak, you then have some butter with it, because then your fat is very important, that you have the amount of fat that you need to have. Yeah, so duck fat, buffalo tallow, sorry, not buffalo tallow, normal tallow is fine, or ghee, right? So yeah, that's it for you. Right, Omar? Yes, Omar, you're still on OMAD, but you're leveraging slightly. What happens is when I give you these specific, especially for the protein amount, you may have to eat a second meal, like a protein shake, to get your protein level up. So it's OMAD, but you can open the window slightly to probably about 2 or 3 hours in order for you to get that extra lean protein in. So you'd have the OMAD meal, which has the fats in it, and if you're practically on very low carbs now, but you would then also get to have the fats, right? And then because you probably won't get 190 grams in one sitting, you will then have it after. Some people have OMAD, and they have a protein shake with it when they're having the OMAD, and then consequently after that they do that, then they get around about 130 grams of protein in one sitting. They then come back in the evening, a couple hours later, and they may have another double serving of protein, or they may eat a piece of jerk chicken, for example, but they will just have the jerk chicken alone. All right, so those of you who I'm giving macros to, you can use your MyFitnessPal app to track. All right, that app will allow you to track the foods when you put the foods in, so you have an idea of what it's working out to be. All right, so you don't have to weigh and measure. All that, what you need to do is just basically have an understanding of what is on your plate. You can, if you weigh the steak, for example, it would give you of what is in there. Like for example, a 16-ounce ribeye, etc., etc. Oxtail is great, right? Oxtail is great. So you can have oxtail. So I normally slow cook oxtail. I put oxtail in the slow cooker, and I just use natural vegetables to season it. I don't use any soya sauce. I use aminos instead. So you have an amino based replacement for soya sauce, and I use that. I will send the video in the group so you guys can see it. But generally Jamaican food is not bad, it's just how we prepare it is the problem. The seed oils, which are highly inflammatory. Yeah. Remember, Amari, what happens is, the two things that will lead to slipping up, and you have to plan for them, right? Number one, sleep. When you have poor sleep, in order for you to chase energy, which is you're not going to get from food, you may consume sugar, because sugar or energy drinks give you an illusion of quick energy. Yes, you do get a blood sugar spike, but then it comes with a massive crash after, and then you keep craving it to have over and over again. This is what the problem is with sugar. So that's why I don't recommend sugar, right? Though sugar, if you were in a deficit with sugar, you would still lose weight. However, it's because of the other properties of sugar. So if you're going to have oxtail as well, you're not going to have rice with oxtail. You just eat the oxtail meat alone. Also, that's why I say cook the oxtail at home, because I mean, if you have it from places where they're gonna add all these other stuff in it, then you're gonna be in a problem, right? So liquid aminos, let me just show you this liquid amino. Let me send it in the group. I buy this locally. This is available here in Jamaica, so you can get it. Yeah, seafood. So you're gonna make sure you have the butter with the seafood. You're gonna have to have the fats, or else you're gonna get hungry really quick, and then you're gonna start eating whatever is available. So as I said, the two things is poor sleep or lack of sleep, and the next thing, which can lead to you consuming more calories than you need to, apart from sleep deprivation, is actually oh gosh, I don't have it to hand right now, trying to remember it, but sleep is a big one. And not having enough fats is one of them as well. A lot of people, when they're in the calorie deficit, they don't have enough fat, so they get hungry really quickly. Because you eat really healthy foods, just go through the system very quickly, and then you're hungry. We're not trying to make you hungry. You're supposed to feel fullish enough to be able to do what you need to do. For seafood, snapper, mahi-mahi, most fish, because most fish is not so high in fats apart from salmon. And it's not that it's high in fat, it's just the oily fish, which you can still have because your fats are supposed to be relatively high. Okay, alright, Stefan, you got to upload them for me to help you out. So, anybody else there? Let me just look over again now. I have Karen. I have Karen and I have Brownie. Sorry. Let me just go on to Karen. All right, Karen, let's have a look. And Carice, Miguel, and Naita. Okay, hold on. £9. Okay, all right. Okay, £9. Very straightforward here. Let's just have a look at these images. Okay, all right. We'd already moved you to green here. All right, Karen, you're already in green. Okay. All right. Okay, similar protocol for you. I'm going to drop you on now. You listen out for your macros. All right, these are your macro guides. So you're staying on OMAD. However, you're going to have specific macros. All right, we want to turn it into a more higher fat situation and totally eliminate carbohydrates for you. So I'm going to bring your carbs down super low, right, based upon the amount of muscle that you have, which is a good thing. All right, let's just have a look. I'm going to put these in here for you, Karen. Protein based upon your weight. Let's have a look again, Karen Cunningham. All right, we don't want to go too hard on the protein, but I mean, you're carrying a lot of muscle, which is a good thing. It's a great thing. It's a lot easier to manage. Let's go with 170 grams of protein for you. In fact, 160. You can get away with 160. 160 grams of protein, Karen. Your carbs are going to be 30 grams of carbs, and your fats will be 60. Well, based upon your weight. No, actually, let's give you more. 70. All right, I just dropped those last numbers in there. All right, those numbers are for you. All right, guys, I'm having a little issue here. Karen, so that last one was for Karen. So I have Bronia, and then I have Clarice as well. Okay, guys, hold on. Let me just bring up these ones at a time. So that's it for you, Karen. Stay on OMAD. The only time, if you're going to increase the window, you increase it by an hour or so. And that's just for only straight lean protein, nothing else. Right? Nothing else. Do not consume any carbohydrates deliberately. So no rice, no potato, nothing like that. Right? Just leave carbohydrates alone. The carbs that you're getting is like just accidental carbs. That's really what you're going to be getting now. All right. So who did I say? Bronia Simpson. Let's see. Karen, Bronia, and Stefan. All right, Bronia, you're in yellow. Have you been sticking to this, Bronia? Have you been sticking to the protocols? That's the first question. You're down about 6 pounds, Bronia. How's the protocols and what's happening for you? And Carice, Miguel, Carice, Naita. Bronia, not okay. Bronia, we've got to get you sticking to the protocols, right? If you don't stick to the protocols, it's gonna be very difficult. I'm not going to say this as if it's simple and it's easy and straightforward, because it's not. I'm asking most of you to change your behavior that you've had since you've known yourself. We have certain traumas in the Caribbean that we have to deal with when it comes to food. All right? Okay. All right. Yeah, Bronia, sleep is very important. Right. So one of the traumas I've realized in the Caribbean that we've had is, not all of us, but many of us have been told whilst growing up to make sure we finish everything on our plate. Your parents would sit you down and they say, make sure you finish everything on your plate. Or, you know, food is not easy to come by, so you should be grateful to have it. So it's always make sure your belly full before you go on the road. Now, the Japanese actually teach the total opposite. The Japanese, which are one of the healthiest populations in the world, do not teach to finish your plate or eat till you're full. The Japanese teach that one should eat until they're 80% full, or in fact even less. So there's actually a term for this that the Japanese use, right? Which is basically to not eat till you're full. So imagine growing up from a kid thinking you're to eat till you're full, and now trying to break this habit. It's not easy, because we have now become accustomed to sit down and eat until we're full, which is problematic for most of us. And you have to re-instruct yourself or reprogram yourself to eat, right, until you are, if you have the energy, you can add running. Yes, for you running, the muscle tissue that you have, you can add running. You can add, yeah, for you can really add anything you want, to be honest, once you stick to those macronutrient protocols. Right, once you stick to them, you'll be fine. So yes, ladies and gents, stick to those protocols for me, please. I know I have 3 here left. Carice, I'm trying to get this device to work again and it's not working for some reason. Naita. So I know I haven't done Naita. Carice, and Miguel. All right, so 3 of you. All right, bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this thing back up and working. If not, I'm going to send you these protocols via the group when I look over it, once I get it up. But I mean, yeah, I will come back to you people with the information. So apologies, Naita, Miguel, and Carice. I'm going to just come off now and try and fix this device, and I'll try and send it to you in the group. And if there's any issues, we'll jump on a quick call. All right, so those of you who haven't uploaded, upload, and I will try my best. My schedule is rather busy. I'm doing about 18 consults some days, so it's not that I don't want to, it's just that I have a really busy schedule. So but I will do my best to get it in, and the team is here to also assist. So ladies and gents, bear with me. Let me get back onto this device, sort this out, and I will update those who haven't been done already. All right, guys? Okay. Let me just hold on a minute. That is Miguel, Naita, and Carice. Let me just bring these people up here. All right, I've got you saved there. All right, guys.